Jason Spears, PikeView head coach. First of all, Jason, what have you guys been able to get done during this pandemic? I mean, it's affected everyone, but there's a school that thought it might be better because it kind of leads right into practice.
Well, as much as we can right now. One thing about it is we really focus on the weight room, focus on conditioning. We are following the guidelines that WVSSAC has provided for us. But right now we have the first two phases, we've really concentrated on weightlifting and conditioning. Now we're in phase 3, so it kind of helps us to be able to let some of these new players come out and understand the offense, understand the defense, and able to get out here on the field and run a few plays and get reps in.
Now, what were you concerned until they made that decision that the season would start on the 17th? Were you a little concerned there'd be a season at all, or if there would, or what they might do?
Yeah, I was a little concerned if they were going to have a season, but that's one thing I always said. I don't care when they start the season, as long as we have one. I mean, this is for the kids, this is for the players, these are for the seniors. I want them to go out their career in sports, off the field, on and off the field. I was kind of worried, and I'm sure there's still going to be more guidelines and probably more things going to be popped up. But right now I'm just happy we're going to get to start a season, even if it starts a week late. But I want these seniors and these kids to be able to step on the field and have a football season.
How hard was it to go through that? So I would assume that knowing your career, at least on the high school level and where you played and everything, you probably didn't endure too many losing seasons. How tough was last year for you? Winning one game.
Last year was tough. Last year was a learning experience for all of us. There's there's things, and I've put a lot of it on me that I should have been better prepared. One thing I could say, even though we had a losing season and only won one game, these boys didn't give up. These boys didn't give up the whole year. I thought my coaching staff did great. I thought my coaching staff did a great job preparing. I just think I need to do a better job as a head coach to, push more of knowing what we're going to do, a better scheme, better practice schedule and everything else. So I'm looking forward to this year. I always keep that behind me, keep the past behind me on that, and move on to the next one. Change the culture here at PikeView because we do have a lot of good players, and we're revving and ready to go.
Is that what it takes? When you played on the state championship undefeated team at Wyoming East in 1999, you played on a state basketball championship team at Wyoming East. Can you pull anything from that to tell these kids this is what you have to do to win a state championship?
Absolutely. We had multiple sport athletes. We had leadership. The years I played, I was a sophomore when we won it, and we had great leadership, and we were competitive. I mean, we came out every weekend or every Friday, and I mean our goal was to dominate and control that game. And one thing about it, we had great leadership with Robert Gunner, we had Jeremy Clark, we had Davey Harris, Michael Hill, Ashley McNeely. Ashley McNeely was probably one of the best leaders I've ever played with. And, they embraced the weight room, they embraced getting stronger, and they embraced practice, and they wanted to get better every day.
Now, you played a little quarterback yourself. I think you backed up Gunner on the state championship team, played some special teams that year. You got a first year, was probably going to end up with a first-year quarterback. How much do you think, talk a little bit about this kid and what you're going to have to do to work with him to get him where he needs to be to play at the varsity level, having not played it before?
Well, I have two of them that's competing right now for quarterback, Dylan Blake and Tyler Meadows.
Blake's your best receiver last year.
Yeah, Dylan Blake was one of my top receivers. He had a great year, and that last year was his first year ever playing football, and he did a tremendous job. And one thing we got to teach. One thing's great about this phase 3 is they can come out here early and understand the offense. So besides having those 3 weeks before the season starts to try to learn the offense, you give us these 3 weeks, this phase 3, where these kids can understand what we want, what we expect from the offense, and they've truly embraced working out here. As you can see, they're out here working right now with the offense we're trying to run, and they're having fun with it. I mean, that's one thing about it. I always tell all of them is just have fun with it, and continue to expand your mind on what we expect from you.
You talked about changing the culture here, and I think PikeView does have a few playoff appearances in the past. But what do you got to do to make PikeView a player every year? You think at the Double A level in West Virginia?
Just embrace it. Just embrace the the weightlifting. Just embrace the conditioning. Just embrace what we're doing as a coaching staff. I got two coaches that was on that 2010-2011 team for PikeView that had a deep playoff run. Josh Blankenship and Ben Nestor, and these coaches they talk to them about what they did to help get them in a playoff level team. And that's one thing we keep pushing with these kids is like, always try to find a way to better yourself and embrace football and embrace the fun that you can have playing football.
I have a lot of followers in Wyoming County, obviously. And I wanted to ask you a few questions about that 99 team. Who do you think was the best overall football player on that team? Could you name one?
I can name one. Ashley McNeely. Ashley McNeely is probably one of the best football players I've ever played with.
Right.
I mean, I never seen anybody get so excited about Friday nights than him. I mean, he was ready to go. He was smart. His football awareness, his football mentality was above a lot of people I've ever been around.
Funny grog story.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of them, and that's one thing I loved about playing in my era is like if you keep it trying to keep it PG, because he when he get on the he get on some of these newcomers, like these, I guess you can say rookies, sophomores there, because at that time we had a freshman team, we had a 9th grade team, we were undefeated. But I mean, you had to embrace that different type of coaching mentality that he had, because he was hard nosed and he was a good coach.
Did he really throw a sideline marker like a spear one year?
Probably. I think he did. But
Do you remember the Sherman?
Yes, I remember the Sherman. I remember him. He was fired up that game. He was fired up that game.
You remember the week before when the players came to the?
Yep, absolutely. And I remember he's fired up, and his passion for the game was unbelievable. And he showed his. I mean, he showed his emotion on that. I mean, he wanted to win, and he did everything he can to win.
Did you think, like most people did, after you beat James Monroe, you probably would win the state championship that year?
Well, we had Bluefield coming up.
Bluefield was number one.
Yeah, Bluefield's number one, but if you think of players like Ben Thornton coming at you, I mean, he was the one we was targeting on, and he was one heck of an athlete, one heck of a football player, and he was probably one of the best in the state at that time. So our goal was to stop him, and we had a chance. And James Monroe had a phenomenal team that year, and once we got past that, we felt kind of relieved, because that was a tough semifinal.
What was your highlight, your personal highlight from that year?
My personal highlight was probably when I got to score the last touchdown against Sherman in the playoffs to make it 85-0 or 85-7, and he brought me in. And I got to play running back, and Robert handed me the ball, and 2 plays, I scored a touchdown, and that was it. And then time play. So that was the highlight of my year, and also the trip to Wheeling. That's one thing I tell my players, like you make a trip to Wheeling, it's a whole new level. I said they treat you like you're a college player going to a bowl game.
How much would it mean to a community like down here, like Gardner and the surrounding area, all the feeder schools that now make up PikeView? How much would it mean to them to make that trip to Wheeling, do you think?
It mean the world to them. I mean, there's a lot of great people here, a lot of great administrators. They had a great team when they first opened back in '94. I mean, you had all those boys from Athens, Dave Campbell, and everything. But I mean, it mean the world to them. I mean, these kids, this community, they travel 30 minutes to come cheer us on and everything. So I love to send them up to Wheeling.
All right, Jason, I appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you, bud.